Hey guys, it's Friday, and we're here for our weekly chat. I'm Chanza, this is Kanika, and we're the owners of Curvy Rose. So thank you for joining us today on Friday. I know last Wednesday we talked a little bit about some current events that were going on around town and everything. But today we're talking about, I don't know.
Well, Fridays are usually Curvy Rose related stuff, and I think last week we talked a little bit about what we do here and the dresses we have and why our inventory is small and very selective and things like that. So I think today we're kind of going to maybe continue on that vein and talk a little bit about more dresses and how they get to come into our store. You see the dress behind us. It was featured in a style shoot that we did recently. You've probably seen them in our Instagram feed. It is from our private collection, and so it's really kind of a modern take on a kind of vintage feel in a way.
Yeah, it kind of has an Art Deco kind of vibe to it, which is why we like it. It's not too out there as far as, because it is still a wedding dress.
Yeah, it's still a wedding dress, but it has more of kind of a sheath fit to it, so it really hugs the body well. Since we are in March, a lot of folks may not know that this is market time for us as bridal store owners. And so what that means is that twice a year we get to go to market, and there are different locations for market. And there's one that's going to be happening at the top of April here in Atlanta. And basically what happens at those markets is we go and we look at different dresses. So it's really kind of a shopping trip to kind of see what kind of trends are coming up. A lot of people know about Bridal Fashion Week in New York, but and those are for really like high-end couture level bridal designers. But for most of us, we don't have $10,000 plus budgets to spend on a dress. So, and most bridal stores don't carry those very high-end couture looks that you may see at Bridal Fashion Week or maybe even see on your favorite celebrity when they get married. So what we do is more kind of a mid-range, what most middle-class folks can afford. And so the time that we go shopping for those items are twice a year, usually in the spring and in the fall. Okay? So here in Atlanta, we're going to be going and, check in with your Insta stories and stuff, because we're going to be posting and taking pictures. And hopefully we'll have a couple short videos during that time.
Yeah, so you can get kind of a behind-the-scenes look of how it all works. Hi, Waineely. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, most people don't realize how the system works as far as bridal shop owners and what we do and how we do it behind the scenes to get the things that you like and you want to wear and you want to try on. So we'll definitely be sharing some of that with you guys.
So I just thought today we would talk a little bit more about how that whole process works, because David's Bridal is like a huge chain, and generally they have their website, and generally you can go into their store and they have a bunch of dresses in this like one dress in a zillion sizes, and they manufacture all their dresses. They hire designers, and they design and manufacture all their gowns. But an independent retailer like we are, we actually do not design our dresses. We do not,
for the most part.
Well, we can design, but what I'm saying is, like, we don't hire a bunch of sketch artists and seamstresses and whip up a whole dress
and communicate with the manufacturer and have them made in multiple sizes for you to try on and buy right there and then.
Right. So we're not a David's Bridal outfit, and most bridal stores are not, even if they have an alterations department within their store, like Kleinfeld's. Even though they have Randy, who's a designer, and probably, whatever, they do not design, like, they're not a design house.
Right.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so they do have people, you probably see her on Say Yes to the Dress, I forget her name, but she actually goes out and buys all of the inventory that they have every season.
Yeah.
And so we do the same thing.
Right.
It's just on a smaller scale.
Right.
Okay, so I forget her name, but I think they even did an episode where she went to go visit Haley Page, and they went and like talked about some stuff because Haley Page at the time was getting ready to get married. I know she's
I remember
divorced
that.
now.
That was a couple years
ago.
Yeah,
and she had gone in there, and they were talking about her new collection and whatever. I forget her name, and if you guys remember who I'm talking about, please let us know.
If you're a regular watcher, please let us know what her name is. But she buys for the store,
and we do the same thing.
Yeah, we do.
So that just kind of gives you an idea of how the basic setup of this whole thing is. So each store carries a select number of designers. Now, it can vary from season to season. Some stores, stick with one or a few designers for the entire time they've been open. Sometimes, some stores, they switch up.
They mix it up.
And they mix it up. Here, we kind of mix it up.
Yeah.
So right now, as most of you know, we carry Maury Lee. That's the bulk of our store right now. And so speaking of our anniversary next month, we are going to have a big sale. So
we are. So a lot of the dresses that we currently have for you to try on are going to be on sale.
So especially for our curvy girls and our curvy fashionistas, be on the lookout for that, because we are going to be.
We're gonna have a blowout sale.
We're gonna have a blowout sale, and we're gonna have some pictures, and we'll begin to show on mannequins. This particular dress will not be on sale.
She's not on sale. No. But we'll begin to show you some of the items that are going to be on sale, and they're going to be at pretty good deals.
Yeah, excellent.
So be on the lookout.
And our dresses are in really great condition, so that's what makes
really
it also really special.
Usually when you see a sample at a sample sale, it's been tried on a million zillion times. It's beat up. There are beads missing. There's lace falling off of it. Not here.
Nope.
It's basically a brand new dress, because we really take care of them. When there's a problem, we stitch them up and we make sure that they're in excellent condition. So really what you're getting is a really good deal, because you're basically getting a brand new dress for a great discount.
A great discount. It really is. And we don't have sales very often. So when we do have them, for our anniversary month is April. We would be open 3 years. Hallelujah. So check, be sure to let your friends and brides that, are still looking, let them know. Because there are many brides, for 2020, early part of 2020, they really should be looking for their dresses.
Yeah.
And then those who are kind of last minute and something didn't work out.
If you have a last minute and your dress didn't quite work out the way that you had planned, or you're having second thoughts, check out our sample sale. There are some really good deals that you may find a jewel. Just saying.
So getting back to how we go about selecting dresses for our store. So we go to market and we go and talk to the different designers that we carry, or those that maybe we hadn't considered before. And we look at the dress, what the dresses, which is the fun part, all the beading or lace,
and we see what different designers have to offer, and what styles they have, and what they're doing, and whether that jives with what we know our girls are looking for.
Yep,
basically.
And the other thing that we do when we go is we consider budget.
Absolutely.
So just like with you, when you go to the grocery store, or even if you're school shopping for your kids, or even Mother's Day that's coming up, or even Easter for that matter, you have a budget, right? So we have a budget too, and we have to go, when we go into market, we think about the budget, not just our budget, but also
think about your budget
and what we know that is more comfortable for you to afford. Okay, so again, even if there are some lines that are higher end and they're really nice, we make a look just you do at the window shop.
But we won't necessarily go with them or order the gowns from them, because we know that they're not in the sweet spot of most of y'all's budget. I mean, most of you are hardworking people, and hardworking people who can't afford, a $4,000 dress or a $5,000 dress. And so we understand that. And so we don't necessarily buy the more expensive gowns or the more expensive pieces, because that's just not what y'all are looking for. They look really beautiful, and we have a lot of fun oohing and eyeing.
And we have to pull each other away.
Drooling.
We have to pull each other
But
away.
we know that, and you know, she keeps me in check a lot of times because I will just gravitate toward the most expensive thing in the room. I'm just like, oh, what's that? It has all the beads and everything, and she has to pull me back and say, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We got to stay within our budget.
Because on average, and I think Wedding Wire came out with a data report, on average, most brides are spending $1,500 or less on their dress. So if that's the case, then we can't have a bunch of gowns
that are $3,000. It just doesn't make sense. And we're seeing personally a trend where, you know, brides are looking for things that are at about $1,000, and so we have to make accommodations for that.
It's just smart,
it's
right?
Just a smart thing
I mean,
to
you
do.
might want you may be a bride who wants the beads and less lace, but understand that costs more. So then it's a matter of weighing what, you know, whether you get the beading or maybe
you get the lace or you get the style that you want, or it's all going to be a kind of an analysis personally on your part to say what are you willing to give up to have what you really want,
because we can get it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not a problem.
We can.
That's not the issue. The issue is just like, and you know, I was thinking about this on the way here. A lot of times, you know, because we're in such a fast-paced life now, and everything's on Instagram and social media, and we don't think about how much things really cost because everything is immediate. You know, like you've got Amazon Prime, you pay that once a year, you don't even miss that money, and then you just get free shipping.
Yeah,
you know, and you don't even think about like somebody
had
for
to.
that. Somebody has to pay for the shipping, even though you're not paying for it.
Yeah.
So what I tell my kids all the time, you know, when we go to you know, like McDonald's, they love McDonald's, right? And I tell, you know, or Chick-fil-A for, you know, my kids love Chick-fil-A too. And, you know, they want extra ketchup. I tell them all the time, you know, yeah, you can get your 2 packets of ketchup, but understand, or you want, you know, extra napkins. Sometimes you need extra napkins when you got small kids and they make a mess. But understand, somebody has to pay for those packets of napkins, that bulk of napkins, or you know, the ketchup, you know. And so when you roll up to the drive-thru and they have on the little sign like any extra packets of ketchup is cost you 50 cents. And I know I've been in that situation before. I was a business owner, and I was like, how you gonna charge me 50 cents for ketchup? Well, you can keep your ketchup. I'll go home and get my Heinz, you know.
But when you understand that you're a business owner, and if someone in your home was coming to stay with you and eating up all your food and all your ketchup, you would kind of be like, why do they keep asking me for more? I can't afford this ketchup. Like, what is going on here?
Right.
The same is true for any other business out there. Same is true for us. You know, sometimes you guys don't understand why things cost the way that they do. Well, part of it is because somebody had to make it. Somebody had to ship it. Somebody had to do something to it. Somebody had to hand bead that particular bodice that you just are in love with. And sometimes it's going to cost you a little bit more.
Yeah, so you get what you pay for at the end.
You really do.
It's not about a lecture or anything like that. It's just like being more conscious, you know, as we are, you know, in more a conservation society. It's just being more conscious about our footprint and what we really, you know, what we think about, what we do, and how we do it.
It's just like the difference between going to eat at McDonald's or going to eat at a really nice restaurant. You're going to expect different things for the money that you're paying.
And that's just it. You know, now here we do not have a bunch of, you know, bargain basement gowns. We don't do that. I know we didn't discuss that last time, but, you know, there are times, again, especially during the summer, where we may have like big blowout sales. I don't know if we're going to have that one this year, but, you know, who knows?
Yeah.
And we have some gowns that have been sitting around with us for a year, or, you know, like last year we had a bunch that had been sitting with us since we opened.
Like,
and so we had to get rid of them because they were just taking up space. And so they were like $4.99, $3.99, crazy,
like that.
crazy,
those were crazy prices because we were just trying to get them
because they've been sitting with us for too long. But that probably won't be happening again because there again, you know, we have to keep the lights on. We also have, you know, overhead, like, you know, the space that we are in. We also have dresses that we have to pay for because we pay for them. We didn't get, you know, our parents didn't give us a loan, and I didn't apply for a bank loan, and we don't And literally, I mean, we can go into a little bit of our origin story next week when we're closer to April. But I mean, we started off in cash, like everything.
We started
like
off with 5 dresses, and we paid cash for everything.
So we
And
don't
so
have
we
credit
don't
cards to just
have
like run, just
Yeah.
like many of you, right?
So we pay cash for everything that we have. We don't have lines of credit and stuff like that. So,
Like many of us out, many of us out there now, where
Absolutely.
we have gig kind of careers where we work our gigs to make
Yeah,
our
to make
ends
it work.
meet,
Yeah.
and we're similar in that too, in that respect too. So when we go to market, we really do keep those things in mind. Now, one of the things that we do kind of have an eye for, and it's a talent of ours, is to give you a look for a cheaper price. Now, it may not have like the actual hand beaded, embroidery of a couture look gown.
No.
Maybe it might be more printed looking than, or maybe it won't.
It'll have that same kind of feel and vibe, but it won't be constructed in the same way, let's say.
Because it'll be cheaper.
Because then it's cheaper. There's a reason
Not cheap,
why.
but less expensive.
There's a reason why a dress is $10,000, because there's a lot of work, time, effort, structure that is put
Again,
into
the ketchup analogy. Somebody has to pay all
Yeah.
those people down the chain.
Yes, to do that work. And they're paid very well because they are excellent at what they do. Now, we can do something that's, it's not going to be handmade per se, but it'll give you that same kind of vibe for a more affordable price.
More affordable, but is not counterfeit.
It's not
And
going to be $500. It's not going to be,
not gonna look
a
like
miracle.
a prom dress. It's not gonna look like a prom dress. It's not gonna be a dress that looks like it's off of iWish or Wish.com. I'm sorry, not iWish.
Yeah.
Wish.com or you're wondering like, okay, the bodice looks really long and crazy, like that kind of stuff, or
that's
like
not
the
something that we
ruffle
do.
skirt looks like all scrunched up and doesn't look like the picture.
Yeah.
Or it just looks like it's made for a person who's 4'11" and you're 5'7". I mean, we don't do that here.
We work with reputable
We do.
designers who have reputable outfits, who deliver quality, and it's going to look the same each and every time. It's not going to be a big variation. And if there is a variation, there's a problem, we return it.
Yeah, we'll handle it, because that's what our job is to be
Yeah.
is to be your advocate and to make sure that you feel the most beautiful on your special day. But I just wanted to just kind of bring that kind of thing to your attention. So when we go to market, we have a budget, we have fun looking at dresses and stuff, and then that's when the real work begins, because then we have to choose which dresses are actually going to be in the shop. And generally, up until we became size inclusive, we had to wait a long time to get our dresses made, because we carried a lot in larger sizes, and so it would take longer.
Yeah, because most of those gowns would not be available.
They
just
weren't like
to
quick
ship. They had to be made. And so just like you guys have to wait 6 months or more to get a gown, we have to wait 6 months or more to get a gown, because people aren't really requesting them in the sizes that we
I know that
need
they
them.
are now, but back when we first
Back
started,
when we
they
started,
were like,
that was not the
they were like,
case.
no, we don't have to make that, and
Yeah.
the industry is slowly changing.
Yeah, it is.
And it's slowly catching up, but it's slow. It's like the tortoise. It's so slow. So, so because of that, we can't get things in as fast as maybe another store that carries from size 2, but the majority of their dresses are size 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have dresses
They
galore.
whip 'em up
in
advance. Yeah.
But because they whip them up in advance. With us, it was taking longer.
Yeah.
And in some cases, especially still, because we are always going to have at least 75% of our stores going to be for the career end of our ladies. It's going to take more time, so that inventory will look a little different.
Yeah.
And so when we sit and we talk about which dresses we're going to bring in, we take in everything. And keep all those things in mind, from budget to style to what's coming. Because see, some ladies may love the Meghan Markle look. That's very minimalist. But that's not Southern.
No. It's got to be consistent with what you guys are looking for, right? Our ladies out here like a lot of lace because we're in the South, we're in Georgia. That's what they like. They love lace, they love barn weddings, they love that country feel, traditional feel. And then some of our other ladies like a lot of beading. And so we got to accommodate that too, So sometimes we can't pay attention always to the trends and what's coming. We have to pay attention to what you guys are looking for too.
So we have a whole system that we have in place that Chandra and I go through and choosing dresses, and then again we place the order and then we wait because we're going to market in April. We won't see probably those dresses until the fall, September, October. And so that's a long time, right?
Yeah.
So even though you may see dresses on websites that, during the summer that might pop up on your favorite designer website, they probably aren't available in every size. And especially the curvier you are, they're not going to have it in the store.
Make them available in each and every size for us to just pull and bring into our shop. That does not exist. Okay,
No.
Let me make that clear to y'all. They do not make each and every style in every size. It does not exist.
It just doesn't exist in this particular setup.
In this system, that does not exist.
Now, David's Bridal, their system is set up differently.
System is different.
So that's why you can.
Correct.
Not in every case, but in most cases, you can see a 6, a 10, a 14, a 16.
Right.
They'll have different sizes of the same gown. But
if only it were that easy.
Yeah, but it's not.
But it's not.
I mean, even with, we have our set designers, but, another store will have their set of designers, and we all operate pretty much the same way. The way Kleinfeld's has their set of a long list.
They have a very long list of designers,
and they operate pretty much the same way.
Right.
It's just the way that the system was set up many decades, many eons before we even opened.
And we just have to work within
We're
that
working
system.
within the system, but it is changing, and because you all are changing it. You are demanding a different experience. You're demanding a different, just a different customer experience and feel and result. So, as we work together, things will begin to change where there are more options.
Right.
So anyway, I think that's pretty much it. All I wanted to talk to you all about, just again, more kind of educational about, like how we go about doing our thing. And so when we get our dresses in, that's typically, when other dresses leave. If we're not having a huge sale like we're going to have in a minute. And that's when our dresses leave, because we realize that we, with the long lead times and waiting for dresses to come in, and also with our brides when they come in and they need to pick up their dresses and everything, our shop is just too small. So we have to keep it rotating. And then there again, we are funding all of this. So, whether, there's a federal government shutdown or there's a natural disaster that just happened, it affects us just as it affects you. It may trickle down and take a minute to get to us, but it definitely does affect us too, because we don't, as most just anyone from restaurants to bridal stores to venues, everybody, photographers, we're all affected by those things. So just something to think about, as far as that. But that's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us today. That's the end of our live chat for today. We will be back on Wednesday for our weekly Wednesday chat, and hopefully this chat will be up on our website by the end of the weekend. I'll work on that to get that up for you guys, so you can review it in our blog archive on kirbyrose.com/blog if you choose to visit. And we'll see you soon. Alrighty, thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.